To the May 6th, 2019 Frankfort Village Board Meeting. Before we begin our board meeting tonight, we are going to have our new trustees take the oath of office. So I would ask at this time that Adam Borelli, Margaret Farina, and Jessica Petro meet me at the podium. Now, for all the family members who might like to take a photograph tonight, you're welcome to get up. You're welcome to stand anywhere you want to get a photograph of this. So please feel free. This is a very short ceremony, and I have my notes in case I forget what the ceremony is all about. I don't think I will. And first off, we just want to congratulate the winners in the April election. These elections come up every 2 years for village governments, and it's part of our democratic process in this country, and it's a very interesting process indeed for anybody who's ever gone through it. So we have the winners here tonight, and we've had the election results certified by Will County that these are the people who won the most votes, and so they are the new trustees in Frankfort. The one thing that's left is for them to take the oath of office, and it goes like this. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee for the Village of Frankfort to the best of my ability. Congratulations. Trustees to take their seats on the dais, and we will start our meeting. And once again, we welcome you to the May 6, 2019 Frankfort Village Board meeting. And at this time, we call this meeting to order, and we'll ask our village administrator, Rob Pisha, or maybe our deputy clerk, Teresa Cork, to take the roll, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor Holland.
Here.
Trustee Borelli.
Here.
Trustee Clavio.
Here.
Trustee Farina.
Here.
Trustee Ogle.
Here.
Trustee Petro.
Here.
Trustee Trevarthen.
Here.
Deputy Clerk is present. Attorney Mahoney.
Here.
Attorney Lamore.
Here.
Police Chief Barica.
Present.
Administrator Pisha.
Here.
Assistant Administrator Cook.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
The next item on our agenda is what we call the unanimous consent agenda. All items on the unanimous consent agenda are considered routine in nature and will be voted on after a single motion. If one of the trustees wants to discuss one of the items on the consent agenda in more detail, or perhaps doesn't want to vote for it, that would be fine, and we'll just remove that item from the consent agenda if that's the case. So I first ask, do any trustees want to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, then I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Mayor. I'll second.
We have a motion by Trustee Trevarthen and a second by Trustee Ogle. Now, we have a big audience here in the boardroom tonight. Lots of family and friends of our new trustees, and perhaps some other people who are just interested in their government. We're glad that you're here tonight, and then we have a large audience on the television or on the internet where you can see these broadcasts. And of course, we'd like all of those people to know something about the items that we're passing on the consent agenda. So the first item is pretty simple. It's the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on April 15th. The second item is the approval of the bills, and they are substantial this meeting. I hope it's not a sign of things to come, but we'll go to Trustee Borelli, who is the new chair of our Finance Committee, Financial Affairs Committee, for a report on the bills.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The bills are substantial indeed. They're totaling $3,150,000, $342.86. So let me go through those because they are substantial. Nearly half of that is for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. $1,471,059.72. This is for the bulk of that money is two payouts on contracts that are wrapping up. Well, one is phase 3, so $432,000 to J.J. Henderson, which again that one's almost wrapping up, and $913,000 to Williams Brothers for phase 6, which again is also nearing its end. One thing I want to talk about is the impact fees distribution. So the Village of Frankfort actually collects impact fees for all the taxing bodies. So if someone develops a piece of property, they collect the impact fees, not just for the village, but for the school districts, the park board, and then we disperse them out, and it makes it easier for the developer. And so $177,000 roughly was distributed. Those are sent out every quarter. So that's another substantial item on the list. The ash tree removal, $63,726. We're almost at the end there. That's almost $2 million that we've spent over the past 7 or 8 years since we've been working on the ash tree removal. I think we got maybe $100,000 left to go, so we are near the end of that, which is good news. We're also making payments on our IEPA loans, which we use to finance the wastewater treatment expansion plant. Those are very low rate loans, less than 2%. And so we had a payment this month, and it was $352,883.88. And then there was also a couple of truck replacements that we had. One was a snowplow, $157,000 roughly, and then another one was for a truck crane replacement for our utility, and that was $112,000. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for explaining why the bills were a little large this month. They're typically around $1 million, and these were 3, and most of it was capital expenses, all of that increase. So that makes sense. The next item is the IEPA loan agreement. That's a pretty big deal that's going on. This is the major wastewater treatment project that we've had going on now under construction for 3.5 years and in planning for 2.5 years before that. We'll go to Trustee Trevarthen for a report on this item.
Oh, this is interesting. This is the first report I've given in a while. I think I can get through it though, okay? Back in X number of years, we decided to consolidate all of our village sewage treatment plants because they no longer met IEPA standards. So, therefore, we decided to consolidate the plants and build one plant. So then we decided, after all engineering, we needed to borrow money. We got money from the IEPA, $60,500,000 we borrowed to do all the phases that we chose to do in consolidating the new sewage treatment plant. The first couple of phases is we borrowed $11,500,000, and it took care of the projects for the initial start and the initial things that we had to do. The second loan agreement was with the IAPA for $37,000, and that was for constructions of projects 3 through 6. Now, 3 through 6 are completely, pretty well completed, and I'm told all systems are operating and service with minor modification of equipment and program remains. So therefore, we're pretty well down the line. Now, the last one, that was $37 million we borrowed there. Now, the last one, we're borrowing $7 million because we have to clean up what's left of the 2 old plants that we have abandoned, and that is $7 million bucks. You know, the great part about this is 1.8% interest the IAPA charged us, and believe it or not, guys, we saved $5 million. We got it done for $5 million less, which was great, and so this resolution is to confine the last loan. I assume this is the last amount of money that we are borrowing, and that's what the resolution is all about, and I thought the trustees have to approve tonight. I think that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Well, thank you, Dick, and it's important for the public to know that we have consistently said over the last 5 or 6 years that this is a $60 million project. And in fact, it's coming in at about $55 million. So we congratulate our staff and all the workers, all the people who made this thing work for less than was expected. And it also meant that we had planned to have a final increase in the wastewater rates to our public, and that final increase we don't have to do. So that's good news on that front, too. Next, we have 3 items from our Plan Commission, and we'll go to our new chairperson for the liaison to the Plan Commission, Trustee Clavio, for a report on those items.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first item is the Larson Corner Side Yard setback at 136 South Maple. The property owners request the granting of a corner side yard setback variance from 30 feet, which currently is, to 28.5 feet to permit the reconstruction and expansion of the enclosed porch on the rear of their existing home. As part of the public review process, the Old Town Homeowners Association Architectural Committee has weighed in and is in favor of this project as well. At the last Plan Commission meeting on April 25th, the Plan Commission voted unanimously to make a recommendation to the village board to approve the variance. Before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a corner side yard setback variance from the 30-foot requirement to 28.5 feet to permit the construction of an addition to the rear of the home located at 136 South Maple Street in accordance with the reviewed plans and public testimony. The second one, Mr. Mayor, is interesting by title, if not anything else. The Frankfort Circus, yes, I did say circus, the Frankfort Circus Center special use permit located at 700 Center Road. The applicant, Thomas Smith, is proposing to open Frankfort Circus Center, which is an indoor circus arts training facility at 700 Center Road within the Laraway Center development. The Frankfort Circus Center will provide group classes and individual training in a variety of circus acts, including hula hoops, juggling, unicycling, and aerial skills. Mr. Smith requests the granting of a special use permit for indoor recreation and entertainment to accommodate the operation of this type of business in the B2 Community Business District. Again, at the April 25th Plan Commission meeting, the Plan Commissioners unanimously voted to recommend this to the village board to approve the special use. So before us is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for indoor recreation and entertainment to the property located at 700 Center Road within the Laraway Center development to permit the operation of the Frankfort Circus Center in accordance with the reviewed plans and public testimony. Third item before us is the Timberview RV Center special use modification located at 21700 South LaGrange Road. Timberview currently operates a recreational vehicle service and sales center at 21700 South LaGrange Road. As part of their operations, they lease a portion of the outdoor storage area from their adjacent property owner to the north, Russo Power Equipment. The applicant proposes to expand their off-site RV storage area on the Russo property and requests a modification to the existing special use for outdoor storage to accommodate this request. Again, at the April 25th meeting, Mr. Mayor, the Plan Commission forwarded a unanimous recommendation to the Village Board to approve this. So before us tonight is to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance amending special use ordinance number 2902 to permit the expansion of the RV storage area in the rear of the property located at 21700 South LaGrange Road, in accordance with the reviewed plans and public testimony, and conditioned upon the installation and maintenance of all landscape plantings in accordance with the approved Russo Power Equipment landscape plans and installation of the new Timberview landscape plantings prior to the expansion of the RV storage area. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. A circus training facility. What could be more fun than that in Frankfort? Just what we needed. Those are all of the items on the consent agenda for this evening. And before we vote on them, is there anyone in the audience who wanted to comment to the trustees and myself before we take the vote? And any questions or comments from the trustees? Hearing none, we'll go to our Deputy Clerk, Teresa Cork, for the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Clavio?
Yes.
Trustee Farina?
Yes.
Trustee Ogle?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
Yes.
Trustee Trevarthen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is what's called the Mayor's Report. The first item on the Mayor's Report is Frankfort volunteers make Earth Day celebrations a success. I hope that some of you had an opportunity to work with your neighbors and friends on Earth Day that was celebrated in Frankfort last Saturday. It was a bit wet, but we were out cleaning up the streets anyway and planting flowers. You can see the flowers planted right in front of the Village Administration building here. We do want to thank the businesses that generously donated to this year's Earth Day event, including Aurelio's Pizza, Durbin's Pizza, Palermo's Pizza, Bill's Lawn Maintenance, Jabez Outdoor Creations, Jewel Food Stores, SW Chicago Wholesale, and the Frankfort Chamber of Commerce. So a great event, good thing to do, nice thing to do with a group. Committee appointments for this year. This is our organizational meeting, the first meeting with the basically our new year. The village's year begins on May 1st. And we had quite a number of applications for committees this time, and we thank all those people who applied to be on a citizens committee to provide advice to the trustees and myself on various issues in the community. And state law provides that the mayor approves these or appoints these people with the advice and consent of the trustees. So I have sought the advice of the trustees, and now I'm going to ask for their consent. So I would entertain a motion to approve the Village of Frankfort Committee and Commission appointments for fiscal year 2019/2020.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
We have a motion by Trustee Farina and a second by Trustee Trevarthen. Any discussion on that issue? Then we'll go to our Deputy Clerk, Teresa Cork, for the vote.
Mr. Mayor. Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Clavio?
Yes.
Trustee Farina?
Yes.
Trustee Ogle?
Abstain.
Trustee Petro?
Yes.
Trustee Trevarthen?
Yes.
And next item on the mayor's report is that applications to fill the village clerk vacancy are available. Well, with the election of trustee Borelli to his new position as trustee, he has resigned his position as village clerk because you can't be the clerk and the trustee at the same time. So he resigned effective April 30th, and he's taken his new position as a trustee. Now, again, state law provides that when there's a vacancy in a public office, the mayor appoints a person to that vacancy within 60 days with the advice and consent of the trustees. So at this time, we're taking applications, and applications are available on our website, and they're available at the front desk in the administration building. And we already have one application, so we certainly expect to have a number of applications, and then the trustees and I will review those. We do want them to come in by Friday, May 17th, so that's a couple of weeks. Motorcycle Awareness Month proclamation. The month of May has been proclaimed Motorcycle Awareness Month in the state of Illinois. The Gold Wing Road Riders Association Motorist Awareness Program continually works to promote motorcycle safety education and awareness. And so I would entertain a motion to support motorcycle safety with a proclamation. We have a motion by trustee Borelli and a second, perfect, by trustee Petro to declare May of 2019 as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the village of Frankfort. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Reserve the date. This is kind of exciting. A village open house. That's scheduled for May 22nd. We've done this before, but we want to do it again, and we want to turn it into an annual event. This will be on Wednesday, May 22nd, from 5 o'clock to 7 p.m. You can have the privilege of going and seeing a brand new sewer plant. Wouldn't that be something? Or you can go to the police station or the admin building here or the pumping station, the standpipe, see what an iron filter is or how we move water from one side of the village to the other. It's really kind of interesting stuff when you get into it. And I would think our Public Works and Utilities facility down on Center Road would be open where all the big trucks are. Those are kind of fun for the kids too. May 22nd on Wednesday, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, open house in the village. These are your facilities. You paid for them. So we want you to see what you have. Memorial Day ceremony is scheduled for May 27th. That's a ceremony that is sponsored by our local VFW. The members of the Hickory Creek Middle School Band will perform during the ceremony. We usually have probably a couple hundred people attend this. There's a short parade, and then there's a few short speeches and the lowering of the flags, the placing of the wreath, and it's a way for all of us to keep some of our servicemen and women in mind. It will be at Brighart Green, starts at 10 o'clock on Monday, May 27th, which is Memorial Day. Founders Center will be used if it's raining. And the Country Market continues in historic downtown Frankfort. It was fun yesterday, goes from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the spring, and there were quite a few people in our downtown, and nice entertainment, good food, and about the only local produce that you can find. One of the vendors kept apples from last year, and he has some apples available, and he also had new asparagus. I guess the asparagus come up early in the season, very early. But our market is a true farmer's market that the products need to be grown within 150 miles of Frankfort. And of course, at this time of year, there's not a lot of produce to buy there, but it's sure fun anyway. There's lots of other things to do and lots of other food to get. While I was there yesterday, I did stop in the Grounded Coffee Bar. That's a new business in our downtown, and it's very nice indeed. I think you'll enjoy it. If you stop by there, and right next door is the new location for Law v. Vintage. So good for them. They've done a beautiful job at those two spaces in our downtown on Ash Street. And in one final comment before we go is that the Bluegrass fundraiser is coming up this weekend. It's on, I think, Friday. And our Bluegrass event last year won a national award. And it really is an award-winning bluegrass festival in Frankfort. And it's turned into quite an event indeed. And people who want to support it can show up at CD and Me on Friday, May 10th, from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And of course, there'll be quite a bit of music at this event. And so concludes the mayor's report, and we go on to our police department report from our police chief, John Barica.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report back on an IDOT traffic grant we received, which paid for overtime for officers to go out for distracted driving over the last couple weeks. And unfortunately, it was pretty successful. Out of 124 stops, we had 69 tickets for distracted driving. So again, as a police department, we like to remind people to put your phones down, pay attention to the road. Distracted driving was for many things, but you should be paying attention to what's going on, and having the phone in your hand, even if it's on speakerphone, is still illegal. It's got to be a hands-free device in which you are not touching the phone whatsoever. I'd also like to congratulate all the new trustees. Looking forward to working with them in the future, and of course, continue to work with the trustees that we have. And then finally, as always, I would like to remind people to lock your doors, take your key fobs and keys out of your car, and if you see something, say something. Call the police. We are available 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And now the village administrator's report. We go to our village administrator, Rob Pisha.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First and foremost, want to congratulate the whole new board, and again, as Chief said, looking forward to working with everyone. And also wanted to thank the past trustees that are in the audience, and once again, thank them so much for all their years of service. And they're definitely going to be missed, and their wisdom. So thank you again. Just want to remind residents that St. Francis Road project is underway. There will be a period of time that it will be down to a signalized one-lane road. When I have a better time frame on exactly when that's going to happen, I will provide an update, but just wanted to let everyone know that this is a project that will probably go through the entire construction season, ending sometime towards the fall. So it'll be kind of a mess up there, so you may want to avoid it if possible. Also remind people that Sauk Trail is closed at the railroad tracks right now, so you may have to find an alternate way around. It should only be closed for the 5 days, so Monday through Friday, barring any issues. And finally, on the tree plantings, we have our contractor that is currently doing tree planting, but the way the weather has been, there is a slight delay. So you should still see a tree. If it was removed, you should see a tree replaced sometime in the next few weeks. That's it.
Thank you, Rob. And now we go to our village attorney, George Mahoney, for the village attorney's report.
Mayor, we have no report tonight.
Well, thank you, George. That brings us to the part of our meeting we call other business, and that's a chance for the trustees to say things that might be of interest to the people of Frankfort. So this evening, we'll start with Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to use this opportunity to thank the residents who voted. I appreciate the opportunity. It's one I don't take lightly, and it's truly a privilege and honor to serve this community. I'm fortunate that we are blessed with a top-notch staff, really second to none, and so our jobs are slightly easier than some that come in. And we have a fantastic board, and looking forward to working with all of you as well. And then also, I just wanted to encourage residents to vote for, or to not vote, but apply for the clerk position. If you're interested in government, and we have so many intelligent people in this community that are interested in helping, it's a great way to do it. And so I hope you'll apply. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Adam. Trustee Ogle.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to send a little plug out to Trustee Heath. I attended the first 9/11 meeting, executive board meeting, and boy, you must have had your hands full. It'll be an interesting time coming up, but I will probably be calling you, relying there. One of our residents approached me. His daughter had some concerns and actually had an idea which I thought we should explore, at least at this point. Trail safety seems to be important to everyone and our families that are out there, especially as the weather's warming up. And his daughter had actually asked about, like on the college campuses, some other places where they have those emergency call stations. A lot of them are solar powered with cellular, and I don't think they're too expensive. I talked with Chief Barica a little bit about this to see whether we had visited this idea in the past, and I don't think we really took a real close look at it, and it may be something that we want to consider and that the residents of Frankfort may want to get behind something at this point, but at least something that we'd look at this juncture. I do want to congratulate Adam, Margaret, and Jessica on their new positions on the board, and look forward to working with our new colleagues. And also, it's very good to see my good friend and colleague, Trustee Trevarthen, here tonight, too. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Keith, and Trustee Farina.
Thank you, Mayor Helen. I want to thank the Frankfort residents for the opportunity to serve you in this community. It's something that I take very seriously, and I'm very excited about it. I want to acknowledge my family and friends who are here tonight, and my husband, Keith Turka, who is very supportive, and my boys, Zachary and Luke. My in-laws are here, Donna and Dan Turka, who are also very supportive. I'm very blessed with a great family. I also want to acknowledge Mayor Helen, since taking office. I appreciate your support. Rob Pisha, you and your staff have been phenomenal to help me get up to speed. No pun intended, Chief. In the village business. There's a lot that staff does 24/7, and it's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to working with you and my fellow colleagues. Congratulations to Trustee Petro. We were formerly on the Plan Commission together. I'm honored to serve with you here on the village board. And of course, congratulations, Trustee Borelli. I'm looking forward to working with you and the rest of our colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. And welcome, Dick.
Thank you,
Trustee Trevarthen.
Yeah. Maybe I should continue with the ag reports.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, well, within the last few years, we lost 3,000 and removed 3,000 green ash trees from the village of Frankfort. We have since replaced 3,000 of them. Now, these little guys, we would like once in a while, maybe you can give us some help, you know. When you drive by the tree, some of you drive by that tree every day, just stop and get out of your car and talk to the tree and see if the tree needs anything, you know. These little trees will live for about a year within a self-contained ball. And once they try to get them new roots out into the Frankfort glorious soil, they have problems. So I just thought with that many trees around, homeowners, if you see something that you don't like, or you think is a little, you can let us know, let the staff know, and they can go check it out. And to be sure that little guy's gonna make it. The second one I have is, last year, a lot of people probably don't notice it, but a lot of little yellow grass came into your lawns. It's called crabgrass. And be sure you get a pre-emergence application out this spring in order to prevent that from feathering it. You've had a lot of rainfall and a lot of seed will germinate, and you'll see a lot of crabgrass if you don't get some material down. That is probably about all I have to say, except for I enjoyed my three fellow trustees, working with them, honest, truth, hardworking people, dedicated to the village of Frankfort. And I would like to welcome the two new, Margaret and well, Adam's been here for a while, and Jessica, and the best of luck. I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
That's all I have.
Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. just like to take this opportunity to thank all of the residents. Got to meet so many friendly faces knocking on doors, and the opportunity to serve as your village trustee. I want to acknowledge my family, who has obviously helped me in so many ways and supported me in this journey. So my husband Ryan, my daughter Carson, and Harper, and my son Cal. I'm also joined tonight by my grandparents, Betty and Norman Hasbach, my father, Tom, and his wife, Jill Hasbach, my mother, Paulette Hasbach, my mother-in-law, Diane Petro, and my two sister-in-laws, Shanna and Dana. Thank you for all of your support, my family and friends along the way. I definitely could not be here today without all of that support. It has been a warm welcome from the Village of Frankfort, from all of the staff, the mayor, the outgoing trustees, and pleasure to be serving with everyone on the board. Congratulations, Margaret, and congratulations, Adam. Looking forward to serving with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. And Trustee Clavio.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ditto. For those of you who have watched the board meetings on a regular basis, I used to sit where Adam sits, and I have to thank you, Mr. Mayor, because I thought when I moved over here I would be first for a chance instead of saying ditto at every board meeting. But unfortunately, but that's okay, it'll come. I would like to take a moment to thank both the incoming and outgoing trustees. I think it's a true testament to our community that we have solid individuals who are willing to serve and willing to step up. It's not an easy task for anybody. And the seasoned trustees who have stepped down, two of which are in the audience, one was here a little bit earlier, the fact that they're still willing to come to a board meeting, even though they're not sitting up here, is a attaboy and attagirl for that too, because, and the two that are sitting in the audience have also re-upped to sit on committees for the village as well. So fortunately, we're going to be able to continue to tap into their expertise and their knowledge and their experience as well. Welcome, Jessica. Welcome, Margaret. Welcome, Adam, to this role. Very much looking forward to working with all of you. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, John. And that brings us to the part of our meeting we call public comments. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to make a comment to the trustees and myself tonight? Not hearing anyone, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Mayor. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.